everyone. So, I hope you enjoyed that intro. And yes, this is the Let's Play of Create and Hex Casting. And I think Hex Casting is a really intriguing magic mod. And we have just found a geode, so let's do some magic. The thing with Hex Casting is that the spells in that mod, the hexes that you create, require amethyst to cast. And also, I need a staff. So what I should do right now is, well, this time I'm out of wood, so let me just grab some. Skeleton. You're just pretending you didn't do anything. I see you over there. As you can see, I've made a little hut, though the roof isn't finished yet. And there's also Wandering Trader. I've also made a little campfire here with some seats, which you can actually sit in. Yeah, just with my own hand. And then finally here is the mine I just came out of. There we go. My first staff. Now, hex casting is a unique magic mod because you create your own hexes. There isn't like a set spell list or anything. You need to. It's almost like programming, but it's a little bit more simple than programming, in my opinion. When you right click with a wand, you open this. You're really annoying. You open this grid, and on this grid you draw patterns. For example, this pattern is Mind's Reflection, and it puts myself in my stack here. And the stack is just a list of things. Some patterns put stuff on the stack, some patterns remove things from the stack and do something, or some patterns transform the stack. Everything in this mod is done by manipulating this stack up here. I can also remove this from the stack with the V right there. Now, for some more interesting spells, let's go down to the mines, because I want to explode something. The first hex I want to cast is an explosion hex, the patterns listed here. These patterns, when drawn in order, will explode the block I am looking at. The first part of this hex is what's known as the Raycast Mantra. If I draw that real quick, you can see that it puts the block location I am looking at on the stack up here. It's important to note, however, that the direction a pattern is drawn in matters. For example, if I draw this first pattern here in a clockwise fashion, it will just put garbage on the stack, as that is an invalid pattern. Mind's Reflection is drawn counterclockwise. However, you can rotate patterns all you want. All these variations are still Mind's Reflection, as they are still drawn counterclockwise. Okay, let me just remove the garbage here. And this next pattern was number 10 on the stack. So at this point, the stack consists of a number at the top and the location just below that. These will represent the power and location of the explosion respectively. This final pattern here will then, of course... Let's see how I'm doing in game. Are you ready? Well, that was a bigger of an explosion than I expected. Also, gold. Let's see. Well, I think my furnace completely got destroyed there. The explosion used a bunch of amethyst dust. Big explosion. I think I started with about 38 dust, and now I only have 2. And also I started with 1 charge diamond, and now I only have 6. But also that was an explosion of power 10, which is a big explosion. Though most of it didn't do anything because it was in midair. But what I could do is not that. Well, first of all, numbers is difficult, but what I can make is an abacus. Counting is hard. You heard here first. So with this abacus, I can set power to 2, for example. I can read from this abacus using Scribe's Reflection, which is this. Now I have the number 2. Okay, drawing these patterns takes a lot of time, but I like to explode in rapid succession. Oh, luckily, this is exactly why trinkets exist. They can store a hex inside of them and cast it using their internal mana pool. To put a hex inside a trinket, we use, well, another hex, of course. First, we need to have a stack of amethyst on the ground to create the mana pool. We can target this stack using a modified version of the Raycast Mantra. This final pattern here targets an entity instead of a block. Then we need the patterns to store inside of the trinket. If we encapsulate our existing patterns here using introspection and retrospection, it puts the patterns themselves on the stack. Also, if we swap out the number 10 here with Scribe's Reflection, we can even change the power of the explosion while we're casting it using the abacus. Finally, the create trinket pattern here creates the trinket. Of course, we do need some more amethyst to create this internal mana pool, which is exactly why I am mining some more. Alright, we have a trinket. So what this does is it can store a spell in it, and then when you right click, you cast it. I will give it about like all of these shards. This will be its fuel. Actually no, you have to stay there. Well, that's annoying. There we go. Amethyst shard, there we go. Now finally, we need to swap these actually around because these are not in the correct order. For that purpose, Jester's Gambit exists. Now, I hope I have enough room for Cropped Trinket. I think I do over here. Yeah, that should be good. There we go! Right, so we got a trinket. It contains dust. This can be recharged, luckily. There's also lesser things, like a cipher, which cannot be recharged. But luckily, a trinket isn't that much more expensive, it's just iron instead of copper. So of course now we can have this in our hand, with our abacus in our offhand, currently cutting number 2. And we should probably not right-click with that right now, because that is an explosion spell. Also, I need to eat. So let's test this right now. That worked. Of course, that's not really a big explosion, that's just 1 block. So let's try 3. Still 1 block. Let's try 4. That's more like it. Of course, that was already almost depleted. So let's actually put a little bit more into that thing. So of course, amethyst itself cannot be used as a fuel source. I guess it's too big. However, there is a different mod which can help us turn this into shards. So we are gonna need is a cutting board from Farmer's Delight. Now let's just put it on the floor. Or actually, do I have a table? There are the few beautifying stuff here. In any case, what we can do is put our blocks of amethyst here. And well, I would use a pickaxe if I had any. And there we go. I think that should be enough. Small miscalculation. The battery size is fixed now to this trinket, so I think I need to make a new one with a new stack of this amethyst shard, which is fine. There we go. Now it contains about twice as much. Let's try that out. It is quite an effective way of strip mining, but it does get depleted quite quickly. You might want to get a way to increase its battery life. We can, of course, recharge it. But you know what? Let's put the recharging in another trinket. Right, so what I want to do now is actually repair using an item near the player. Having to look at the item is getting quite annoying. So if we get the position of the current player using this, yeah. So this is number 2, and then we can do zone distillation item, which is this whole thing. This should now give us an item near the player with a distance of 2, because this is the number 2. Of course, this gives us a list of items. What we can do is, of course, select that item then. So I think we want to get the 0th item, 0, and then this is list manipulation. Now we should have an item, and then we can cast recharge. Recharge is a fun pattern. That's recharge item. I think that should be it. So now we have the whole pattern. Now we want to set that in our current trinket. So for that we need Scribe's Gambit, which is different from Scribe's Reflection. It's the opposite way. Well, that's a shame. So I actually need to clear the item. Right, now this trinket is empty. Of course, then it also means that we need to put our amethyst shards back. Crap, amethyst shard. And then we're back at our classic old craft. Trinket. At least let's not do that just yet, because I am not sure if this is the correct order. Gesture those. There we go. So this should be the repair trinket. Amethyst on should. So if I just drop this next to me, it doesn't work. Oh wait. There we go. It does work. Which does which now? I should probably rename them. That does require an anvil, which I currently do not have. And there we go. More iron. More iron! You know, something tells me creepers aren't very good at being exploded. Alright, let's name these. Probably just explode, but like explode in. And this guy, recharge. Well, I hope you enjoyed that foray into hex casting, and I will explore some more with this whole playthrough. Goodbye! I should really get that roof fixed. You will see it is somewhat involved. That is not do the explosion. Wait, that was centered on me. Oh good, you're still here. Oh no. Oh no.